Red Dead Revolver. Is it the best Red Dead? No, it doesn't have Lenny. But as much as I love both Red Dead Redemption games, I spent a couple days playing Red Dead 2 and I spent a whole summer playing Red Dead 1. But I spent a whole childhood playing Red Dead Revolver. Don't get me wrong, it has a very basic Western story that gets you through the game, and to be fair, it does have a fantastic multiplayer that if it was released today, oh my god, it would be so sick. Oh, and the thing that makes this game just so nostalgic as well is the damn soundtrack. The soundtrack in this game is, oh my god. I can't play it because a lot of it is copyrighted, but I just, play this game and listen to the music. The music is such a just peak of this game. Is so good, man. This game just has such a special place in my heart, and I'm so excited to be covering it on the channel. This was when Rockstar actually had some creative freedom and could release more than one game a freaking decade. Again, as much as I enjoyed Red Dead 2, come on, man. Y'all really couldn't have thrown us an LA Noire 2 in this time. But Red Dead Revolver, you play as Red Harlow, who is on a quest to avenge his parents' deaths, who died for reasons that will become clear as you play through the game. While going through the game, you end up becoming a bounty hunter after the sheriff asks you to take down some mischievous people that is around the area. Of course, in exchange for some cash. In my eyes, Red Harlow is the original bounty hunter. The Mandalorian can just go sit in the corner. While going through the game as well, you will encounter some little things and little info dumps that makes you go after certain people that were involved in your parents' death. So without further ado, let's just get into the game, shall we? So in the start of the game, in a cutscene that I somehow skipped, our dad shows us a particular revolver, and this will be a key point later on in the game. But he doesn't let us play with it yet, so he gives us his old pistol to go down to the river and practice. Everything seems to be going fine. We're firing at pots and pans until...
The hill and creek, boy. We're getting raided.
I'm coming, Pa!
And now it's time for our first taste in combat. Now, bear in mind, this game dropped in 2005, and having the ability to move and aim at the same time was just... it blew my mind, I'm not gonna lie. I came from Resident Evil 4, where you were locked in place as you were trying to shoot, so this was kind of crazy for me. But we need to hold back these enemies for a little bit of time until we hit this to finish the mission.
You gotta let me once, kid, but
Hey! After our family ends up dead...
Get up, Pa! Pa! Pa!
kid, I reckon your pa's better off dead.
Red sticks his hand in the fire to grab a gun and absolutely blows this guy's arm off with one shot. And now it's time to go on our revenge path with a burned hand. Goddamn. Now, a couple of years later, Red is all grown up and we run into this gentleman on our ventures, and we now get our first taste of the shops in the game. Most of the items don't really affect gameplay much, such as journal pages, and as someone who has filled the journal once before, most of it is interesting with character profiles, but a lot of it is a bit meh. But other items are amazing, mainly the showdown characters for the multiplayer. Again, the multiplayer is just so good in this game. Every single character you run into in this game can be played in the multiplayer. Besides the townspeople, I suppose. And in typical fashion, we get ambushed and we have to shoot our way out of the area. And here we get our first taste of the cover system in this game. And all I'll say is the cover system in this game is god-awful. Do not use it. While you're shooting at enemies, Red is so exposed that it's kind of crazy. Honestly, the best cover you have in this game is just constantly moving and never standing still. And now time for our first boss in the game. You sort of kill off a main enemy towards the end of the mission, and that will end the mission for you. Nice. Look at that. 2 missions down already. Now, before most missions, you have the opportunity to buy some extra items and then pick out your loadout. And your loadout being 1 pistol, a long rifle, and a throwable. Now, we've taken the bodies of the guys we've just killed to Widow's Patch in order to get some cash and unofficially become a bounty hunter. But sadly, the sheriff tells us that he doesn't have anything to really give us since the town has been run down by bandits. And then we see one of the biggest sins I have ever seen in a game / movie.
Leaved himself all over them fancy boots here. Damn, barman!
I forgot that happened. Oh, I'm ready now. And now we have to kill a guy named Goddamn Chicken. His freaking name is Chicken.
Dive! Take that, you ferret!
And now time for one of the highlights in this game, and that is the dueling. Grab it, pull. Oh, he's getting lit up. Now, after that duel, we have to deal with our next mini-boss named Ugly Chris. Sorry to all the Chris's that are watching. But now that the sheriff has taken ill, we need to take him to Brimstone, which is the main hub area in the game. To get to Brimstone, we need to take the train. And on the train, you can chat to everyone on the train, which is kind of cool. Even this lady that really doesn't want to talk. So this girl's sleeping. As you do on trains. But the train starts to get robbed, and now it's up to Red to save the day with a quick draw. Man is shaking in his boots. Remember there was a thing as well, like if you don't like grab your gun, you can literally just pull his hand out and like, oh, I haven't got my gun. And as Red walks away, I politely ask you that if you are enjoying the video, smash that like button because it does help me out massively. Now outside the train, we need to make it to the far end of the train to take down one of the head bandits. And God, the ragdolls in this game are so good when you kill off certain enemies. Come on, buddy. But just as quickly as we made it to the end of the train, we now have to run to the start of the train because the engineer is getting attacked at the front of the train, so we quickly make it over to him as well. The engineer manages to slow down the train before it flies off the tracks, and after doing so, he patched us up a little bit, and then... Alright, now the obligatory defend for 3 minutes.
There ain't no end to these desperados.
There's also a mechanic in this game called Deadeye, and... oh, it's so good. It just slows time down, and and each character has a different Deadeye and what it does for the cat. I'll show, obviously, you'll see a lot more of it, but Deadeye is so sick in this game. We managed to survive the 3 minutes with not so much health. Now...
Next up, Brimstone.
we're now in Brimstone. We meet the sheriff in Brimstone, and we hand over Sheriff O'Grady to him, and now we're free to walk around our little hub area that is Brimstone. Alright, so this is a little hub world. Got the general store over there. You got the clothing, and of course the gun shop. But yeah, it's a very, very small town. Yeah, it's a showdown level. The deed to the saloon. Oh yeah, the saloon! I can't believe I didn't go to the saloon. Saloon's so iconic in this game. This game is just iconic in general. Oh, the saloon. Oh.
You look like you need a drink. What'll it be?
It's like showdown characters. After wandering around Brimstone for a little bit, it's time to start our next mission.
If you're as good a bounty hunter as O'Grady says you are, you could help me with a couple of real outlaws wreaking havoc in my territory. You might want to start with Pig Josh. He's one...
Excuse me? But first, should we buy dynamite? Yeah, that could be fun. The mission starts and we notice this chap chilling in a cage. Firstly, he isn't our problem until...
Behind you.
Now, this mission is just absolute chaos. There's clowns everywhere, and some of the voice lines are just so good and so funny. Even their death sounds. Now, this mission structure is quite simple. It's 2 waves of clowns until our main boy comes out to play. I think Pig Josh is coming. It's not that funny, Jack. There he is. Don't think he quite looks like me, but we could... No, I'm not gonna lie. I couldn't remember how to fight Josh properly. After you do a little bit of damage to him, he just charges at you and blows you up. No! So I ended up doing it the exact way I did when I was younger, and that's standing on top of this structure, waiting for Josh to blow himself up, and then we take pot shots at him for a good 7 minutes until... Okay, that was embarrassing. So was that death animation. We then have a quick talk with Jack, and he's grateful that we rescued him and says he owes us one. And that's mission done. The next mission, we have our first instance of playing as a different character. We're now playing as Jack Swift, and he also has an issue with the clown. And Jack plays slightly differently to Red in that his Deadeye is always so good. Look at that, bro. In this mission, we need to deal with this gentleman.
Jack, what an unpleasant surprise.
So Perry has this snake oil that lets him disappear, and you just have to basically just follow him around from his different vantage points. After dealing enough damage, he drinks some of the snake oil, which increases his health, and you have to do this a few times. He isn't a particularly hard boss. His teleporting can just be a little bit annoying. Also, that snake oil in the multiplayer is so freaking cheap. Thanks for waiting for me, man. After rescuing the sheriff's daughter, she tells us that there's going to be a sharpshooter competition in Brimstone, a battle royale, where the winner gets 5,000 in gold. So we'll see a little bit of that later on in the game. Now that I've had a haircut, we're playing as Red in Brimstone, and one thing I really like with this game is the world building, since this guy is shouting the news of things that have happened throughout the game.
Bounty finally collected on Pig Josh.
Now on to our next bounty to collect.
Not bad, bounty hunter. Not bad at all. Now I reckon you could really line your pockets. If you don't mind hunting down a woman.
All right, this mission is a lot of jumping. We have to make our way through this valley, taking down numerous different enemies. Even this guy that starts chucking boulders at us. Hey, buddy. And now time for our next duel. But I'm gonna miss this jump first. Oh, that jump sucks. In this duel, we have to take down 2 enemies at once, which, I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of sick. Oh, we got a quick draw McGraw here. Oh, let's go. After that, we meet up with this guy again.
Hey, friend.
Oh, it's him. See, look at that. 1,500 from max health upgrade. Give me that. He tells us that he knows a shortcut and we have to follow him until...
Thanks, we're all free! Hallelujah!
I forgot that happened. Now, dealing with Bad Bessie herself. Now, the easiest way to kill her is just let her use her whip, and then you can put in some serious damage on her. Yeah. Oh my god, that's an image. After arriving back in Brimstone, we head to the gunsmith, and he has some fantastic news for us.
Now that Rogue Valley ain't so full of rogues, I finally got a new shipment through.
Have a look. Twin revolvers, no thank you. No. No. New shipment through? Bro, what do you mean? This is all the same crap. And again, like I mentioned earlier with the world building, if you go around to the town and speak to people, they will talk to you about events that are happening in the game.
I know you. You're the fella that took out old Bad Bessie and her gang.
But on to our next bounty.
I reckon that old Bessie was a real handful. Take care of this last one, and I'll make it worth your while. Mr. Black.
Now, before we get to Mr. Black, we need to go through this ghost town, and oh, I just love this level so much. It's just so creepy. No, press the wrong button. And playing on this map in the multiplayer was so much fun. After making our way through the town, we need to do this duel against the 3 opponents.
Your judgment day has come.
Now for the Mr. Black boss fight. Now his whole thing is he has a Gatling gun in the coffin that he is carrying. And we actually take our first death in the game because of this boss. But on the second attempt, we manage to take him down, and he just gracefully falls into the correct place. Now back to Brimstone. Let's go see the sheriff.
You're one hell of a bounty hunter, mister.
After being told to go to the bank, we run into this lady, and she mentions something very interesting after being told that she can't pay for a ranch because of the governor.
To hell with that evil son of a bitch. He's mined enough gold out of Bear Mountain. What the hell does he want my damn ranch?
We asked the bank manager to explain what the Bear Mountain is, and he isn't being too cooperative. And now it's time to play as Annie. Annie arrives back at her ranch, but it's set ablaze. Annie's mission is quite simple. You're dealing with numerous waves of enemies. Until these guys show up, and all I'll say about these guys is, oh my god, they're so annoying. They shoot at the bulls, which then results in the bulls charging at you. So then you're doing your best Toro impression with them. But after taking down the enemies, Red eventually arrives at the ranch and asks Annie about the gold mine. She recommends that we go to the saloon in Brimstone, where people tend to talk about it. And to return the favor, Red tells Annie about the battle royale and the prize money. When we arrive at the saloon, Red catches a conversation about a man who has lost his arm. And let's take a quick little flashback. Red asks the gentleman about how he lost his arm, but he isn't too eager to tell Red about it until...
Take a walk. Answer my question, and I'll be on my way.
And now here we go with the bar fight. Every single Western game set around cowboys should have a bar fight. Thankfully, Red Dead 2 agrees. And oh, God, this is just chaos, man. I love it so much. You need to kill all the enemies while keeping these girls alive. And what's even funnier is if you go upstairs, you'll find these girls just chilling in a bathtub. And you can buy a health upgrade from them. After taking down all the enemies, the lady behind the bar hands us a gun and lets us go take care of the other guys that got away. We take care of our next guy. And then we have to take down these guys on the bottom floor, and we can push these tables over, which is kind of a nice touch. After taking down these guys, we then need to take down Sam. Sam can be a little annoying with his barrels because he throws them thinking he's Donkey Kong. And then after you do enough damage, he jumps down and starts charging at you. You need to jump onto the stage as he charges at you so he stuns himself, and then you can just lay into him. After we've killed him, word gets out to the sheriff that we've been basically running havoc in the saloon, and he comes and arrests us. Red asks the sheriff about the one-armed man and confesses that he's the one who's killed Red's parents. And then...
Well, I'll be darned. I'd heard rumors you were alive, but never believed it. You're Nate Harlow's son, Red.
Tell me what you know about the death of my family.
And now we're playing as General Diego. Now, this mission is so rough. You need to basically hold off an entire army involving cannons. Need to use our rifle to shoot flares at the enemy cannons so our cannons can blow them up. Oh my god, it was going so well until... God. We go again and destroy a few more cannons, and now we need to blow up the bridge. And now time for the scariest part in the game. You'll be doing this a little bit later on as well, but genuinely, defending people that have health bars is the scariest thing in this game because your ally AI can act like stormtroopers.
Wow, you really do shoot like a stormtrooper.
While the enemy AI is taking pot shots at the guys like prime John Wick. Now that the bridge is blown up and Diego is taken a hostage, and this hostage is the one who sells out Red's dad with a gold mine. And now Diego will go direct the Colonel to go kill Red's dad. And how will General Diego and Colonel kill off Red's father?
A bullet. A bullet?
Cut back to Red in his cell, and he asks the sheriff how does he find Diego. So now we're hunting Diego. Now the canyon. This canyon involves a little bit of sneaking, so why not listen to this guy complaining about his position?
Here I am getting a handful of pesos a month, and if it weren't for me, a treasure in gold could disappear. I ought to at least be corporal. I have to speak to the sergeant about it as soon as my shift is over.
Now this mission, we're after the wagon that Diego is delivering to the governor, and as soon as we get on this horse...
We're being raided! Yeah!
Now we just need to chase down this wagon and blow it up while a Gatling gun is firing at us. I was cutting it close. After blowing up the wagon, Red goes to inspect it until he killed my parents. Also, I know this is a nitpick because it's a PS2 game, but I just love how Diego has been wearing the same outfit for 12 years. Now we're playing as Red's cousin, Shadow Wolf. He has a bow, and because of that, I already love him. And now we get to do my favorite thing in games. Use a bow and arrow. Games involving a bow and arrow are just like my guilty pleasure. I don't know what it is about them, but it's just so much fun to use a bow and arrow in games. But as Shadow Wolf, you need to sneak your way through to the gold mine to rescue Red. Now, in no way do you actually need to do stealth. You could just go in, bows a-blazing, and with the fire arrows, oh my god, it just makes it so much fun. Fire arrow. Oh, go away, go away, go away! We make our way through the mission and come across this tribe leader named Grizzly, and we have to take him down. There we go. We cut to Red and a new character who's also a hostage named Buffalo Soldier. Shadow Wolf eventually does find us. We all split up, and now Red has to make his way through the gold mine. We have no weapons besides a knife, and we should be using stealth, but stealth in this game is so goddamn awful. I really did try.
What was that? Ah! My woman shoots better than you. Come on!
Oh, this is rough. Oh, this is so rough. Oh, this is very rough. After a while, we do eventually get a gun. Yes. Yes, I got a gun. With 30 bullets. And then we go deeper into the mines, and we enter this area. Oh, God, I remember this bit. It's so rough. Now, the mine can be tough. There's enemies everywhere. You don't have the greatest amount of resources to deal with all the enemies. You need to go from different rooms, getting different keys to then enter different rooms.
Who are you? You don't belong here.
Someone over there.
Ooh. Oh boy, right. After freeing this lady, she actually offers you one of the best items in the game. $1? Increased health max. Give me that for a freaking dollar. Oh, that's a big health bar. Oh, whoa. Mwah. Thank you. Thank you, beautiful. And after picking up the key from her cell, we can now try and escape. But God, look at the amount of enemies, bro. We burst into this room and we make these guys day by giving them some action until we end their days. Yeah. Now we get to play as a new character. Sorry, earlier. It's Buffalo Soldier.
Buffalo Soldier!
Now his missions are quite simple. You're riding on this cart that is full of TNT, because of course it is. And now you need to defend the cart from Diego's men in the first mission, and then Native Americans in the second mission. But after dealing with the tribe, we arrive at the governor's place. And now it's kind of mad knowing that this guy that Diego could have killed is now the governor. It's so weird to think about. The relationship is basically Diego pays the governor with money from the gold mine to keep the army from interfering with Diego. It's kind of wild. Now, this next mission is probably one of the harder ones in the game. Red and Shadow Wolf are being pinned down by a Gatling gun, and we need to go through the buildings of the fort in order to stop the Gatling gun. Making our way through the walls, killing anything that moves, and then we arrive at the Gatling gun, but we don't use it since, as I said earlier, standing still in this game is actually a death sentence. After taking down numerous enemies on the ground level, we cut to the Colonel holding Shadow Wolf hostage, and now it's time to get some revenge for our parents.
Revenge shall be mine!
We've been told throughout the story that this man has a cannon on his arm. And, well, he quite literally has a cannon on his arm. So that's something we need to look out for. Oh my god! you little... Whoo! Bro, he just disappeared. I didn't know where he was. But sadly, the Colonel has killed Shadow Wolf. The Colonel actually went 3 of 3 for my family. That's tough. Now, Diego is trying to escape on his train, so now we have to attack his train. This mission can be a bit strange if you're playing it for the first time, since you're not quite sure what you're supposed to be doing. But you have to separate each of the carts from the train until eventually you get on his Gatling gun, because of course this guy is just traveling with a Gatling gun. And then you just start laying into the train. Not fighting Diego himself. He isn't too bad. He does use his flare rifle to fire a cannon at us, and he does drop a Scarface reference here and there.
Hello to my little friend.
And he does hide a little bit as well, but overall he's not too bad of a bot.
It is far from over, gringo.
Yay. Now we're back in Brimstone. And why are we here?
I do hope you're planning to attend the Battle Royale. I would very much look forward to beating an adversary of your talent.
I just signed up.
Now it's time to buy some of the best guns in the game. Oh my god. Oh. Oh, they're expensive, but... Oh, I want them. Yes. And now we can sign up for the Battle Royale.
So, Red, what you gonna do? You want to enter the Battle Royale, too?
And also, just look at these upgrades. Oh. All right, now it's time for some dueling. Easy. Okay, you're quick. Nice. After a full day of dueling, we spend the night in the saloon and we find Jack drunk. Not sure that's what I'd be doing the night before I could potentially die due to not pulling my gun out quick enough.
Evening, Red Mill, China.
Now it's time for the semi-final.
For our semi-final round, we have a 3-time winner and current champion, Mr. Kelly. The brave soul challenging him is a man who's killed a lot of bad men around here and is looking to kill some more. Red.
But during the semi-final, there's some shenanigans afoot.
Due to the sudden absence of Sheriff Bartlett, I'm going to be stepping in to oversee this conclusion to the Battle Royale. I hereby disqualify Jack Swift and Annie Stokes. The winner of this here round is going to be the winner of the Battle Royale.
What? Oh dear.
Congratulations! You came in.
Oh, I'm so dead. Yep. Really? There we go. Oh god, this cutscene just looks so much worse.
I'll give you that. But of course you'd have to be to live through what you did. Still, I'm afraid that we're gonna have to end right here and now what we should have ended so many years ago.
Isn't she a beaut?
Yeah! Can I hold it?
She's one of a pair, only two in the whole world.
Where's the other one? The other one. The other one.
Oh damn! Now we have to kill Perry for real, since the duel, I guess, wasn't good enough since he got straight back up. Oh, it's very rare I do that first try. After killing Perry, we find the sheriff, and now we need some key information.
Tell me where to find him.
His mansion, but it's secured like a fortress. It'll be hard even for a bounty hunter like you.
He will not be alone.
He ain't the only one who wants the governor. I reckon that their prize money is in that mansion of his.
Oh god, this sucks. Now us three are at the mansion. Now, this is probably the hardest mission in the game, only because, again, Jack and Annie have health bars. And again, they're next to useless at shooting at the enemies, but goddamn do the enemies love shooting at them. After taking down numerous enemies, we decide to try and enter the mansion through the side door, but that appears to be locked, and Jack has the brilliant idea to pick the front door lock, in view of absolutely everyone. Why they couldn't just decide to pick this lock of the door? Now, this is probably the hardest part in the game. Defend Jack and Annie for 3 minutes. And I say defend Annie because quite often she would just get shot in the back of her head and do nothing about it. Like, just look at her health here. It's at half, and then within one frame, health's gone. Or when I'm defending Jack, the area will just get so crowded with enemies that I myself die. You think that was a bit fucking ridiculous? But after numerous tries, we do manage to complete the mission, with somehow both Jack and Annie actually being on decent health. Now in the mansion, Annie splits from me and Jack, and now we have to infiltrate the mansion and its tight corridors, with enemies lurking around every corner. Reminds me of Resident Evil a little bit. Jack sorta gets stuck here. I don't know how, but eventually we managed to find this hidden room in this wall, but Jack has to stay behind it to hold off some enemies. We meet back up with Annie, and now we're both sticking together, which is goddamn terrifying because Annie's Deadeye shot will randomly just send us flying and take off a chunk of health as well. Cheers, Annie. We managed to run into Buffalo Soldier, and once again we are splitting from Annie as Annie goes to look for Jack. Red and Buffalo Soldier arrive at the governor's main room, but he is nowhere to be found. But we do have to deal with this guy in a duel first. Now, somehow I didn't have any footage of me beating the last mission. I have no idea how, so I had to go back and beat it again on Bounty Hunter difficulty, which beating it on Bounty Hunter difficulty gives us infinite health for the rest of the game, which is kind of cool. Bounty Hunter mode is essentially challenge mode, and beating certain missions unlocks cheats, such as I said, invincibility, infinite Deadeye, for example, and things like that. But now let's take down the governor.
Best way to help me is to put a bullet in that man's brain. Get going, bounty hunter. Change with them.
I always regretted what happened back on your daddy's farm, Red. I should have been there to make sure you joined them. But lucky for me, I get a second chance.
And that's Red Dead Revolver. Again, it's one of my favorite games ever. It's one of my favorite games on the PS2 generation, and I just love it so much.
It never was about the money.